Oh yeah.
Do.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Every Rush song.
Hello and welcome to Every Rush Song, where we are analyzing every Rush song. And today we are continuing our journey through Vapor Trails onto track number 2. What song is that, Tim?
That would be the greatness of
Space guitar.
Yes, it is the greatness of Space Guitar Part 6, the anniversary. Yes.
I like it. Yeah, that'll work.
Ceiling Unlimited.
Ceiling Unlimited.
Ceiling Unlimited, J.
Ceiling Unlimited J.
What do y'all think about Ceiling Unlimited as as a song?
Well, as a song, it is a song.
I think
I
it's a
could
good
not
follow-up.
agree with that more or less. Well, first of all, I just have two things I would like to point out. The beginning of that song, it reminds me, like with the guitar and the bass, it reminds me of U2. It kind of
I
has
can
a
see that.
U2-ish sound. But the thing I would like to point out the most, but like the name of the song, Ceiling Unlimited, why does that remind me of Step Brothers? Prestige Worldwide. Ceiling Unlimited, Prestige Worldwide.
Boats and hose.
Boats and hoes. I don't know. It just reminds me. I thought it was honestly, I thought it was like the dumbest name for a song until I did a little research, and now I understand the reason the song's name seems to be dumb, but it's not. It's quite intelligent.
It's actually, Shane,
Tell me. I would like to know. I'm just going to see your hat trick, Jim.
it's scientific.
Really? Oh, tell
Yes,
me.
yes, it
I'd
is.
like to know more.
The title is a condition of weather. It is the height ascribed to the lowest layer of clouds or obscuring phenomena when it is reported as broken, overcast, or obstruction, and not classified as thin or partial. The ceiling is termed unlimited when these conditions are
Shane, wake
not
up.
satisfied.
Shane, wake up. Or
What?
to put it, to put it in layman's terms, ceiling unlimited is a weather or aeronautical term referring to the height of the lowest obscuring cloud layer above the ground. So pilots flying below the cloud ceiling can operate their planes using visual flight rules. On a day when the ceiling's unlimited, you can see the world stretched out before you. It's an inspiring sight. But people tend to restrict their gaze to what's immediately before them, even when they have the world stretched out before them. The viciousness of the street, the slack-jawed gaze, those are just limited visions of what we get when we hold a mirror up to the world. We can be inspired with how great our world can be if we can just move beyond the limited world immediately before us.
Neil
And
Peart
see.
said, not surprisingly, the TV in the bus was tuned in to the Weather Channel. Looking at the forecast, I noted that it read Ceiling Unlimited.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite explanation of that song. The weather was on it. It said Ceiling Unlimited.
Right.
It sounded cool.
So what did yours?
And that he said, because look, right before this, yes, they were much older, and old people like weather.
It's true.
And so therefore you're a rock band
so true.
touring the country in your tour bus. And what are you watching? The Weather Channel.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That reminds me of a great topic to discuss on Beer Thursday, Shane.
Yes.
Why do old people? What is it with old people and weather? Because I've noticed that.
And we'll
Jing,
see you in the next
jing,
round.
jing, 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 jing.
Gene Gonzalez.
Gene, what is that? Ceiling.
We are live.
So what you said, Jay? What was that? Did you were you reading your writing, or was that something?
No, this writing actually came from the Vault, Rush Vault. I don't know. I don't remember the author of it, but it's sort of what he was talking about with Ceiling Unlimited, kind of what he was explaining what that meant, and he was correlating it to some of the lyrics and
Okay.
in the song.
All right. I get
Believe
really
it or not,
confused with
I
this
didn't come
song.
up with that myself. I know.
You
It
come
sounds
up with
but
good things. I wouldn't have been surprised if it was
yeah.
yours.
Well,
But
I think that plagiarism is the highest form of compliment.
Agreed. So in general, what's
In
it
general,
about? In general, what's it
Well,
about?
What it's about is 70 years ago, our forefathers took on plagiarizing.
Oh,
See
right.
what I was doing there.
Mhm.
What is the song about? The song is about not having limits
On
to
your
your
ceiling.
ceiling.
Like a
I
like
can
a
see we all.
sunroof?
I can see
Right.
we all really researched this one.
Well,
Yes.
it confuses me because to me, when I read the lyric, the verses, I see one thing, but then on the chorus, I get that more unlimited
More
possibilities,
and
nothing can stop you.
optimism and
Yeah.
right. While everything in the
But
lyrics is sort of kind of
yeah, so
Well, basically,
it's
dressed up in the mask of tragedy and
see what I get it is basically, things are gonna change. Ceiling is unlimited. Don't look at it in a limited point of view.
impermanence.
It's impermanence. Yes, exactly. Yeah. And you look past that. So, ceiling unlimited, world so wide, turn and turn again, feeling unlimited, still unsatisfied, changes never end, never end.
That sounds inspirational, right?
right.
It's like
Yeah.
nothing can,
Yeah.
I mean, kind of like from Ghost Rider, nothing can stop you now.
Yeah.
Sky's the limit. Do what you want.
Prestige
But
worldwide.
but the
And
open
still unsatisfied.
Boats and
Keep going.
hoes.
Get more.
the opening line, it's not the heat, it's the inhumanity, which I think that's a wonderful play on words.
That is a play
know,
on words. That is
because heat,
also one that
Feels
humidity,
good. Feels good at
plugged
that.
into the sweat of a summer street. Machine gun images pass like malice through a looking glass.
See, that sounds less motivational and less uplifting.
Right,
To
exactly.
me, that sounds scathing. That sounds, and this would have been, I mean, it
People
came out in
aren't mad.
2002.
Right. People aren't acting crazy and mad and vicious and stuff because of the heat. It's because of their inhumanity.
Yeah.
Because they're jerks.
Plugged into the sweat of a summer street. Gang violence right there.
Well, and then there's the slack jaw gaze of true profanity, feels more like surrender than defeat. If culture is the curse of the thinking man.
Class.
Man. If culture is the curse of the thinking class.
Now,
that
this is
that makes me think. You know what I think? I think to myself, I think to myself, Jay, what does that mean?
What do you call yourself, Jay?
I do
So-
sometimes.
If you read,
I always
when you
speak
read,
in the third person when I'm not around. What?
when you read the book, when you read a book, you catch a lot of lines that end up in songs in
Yeah.
Vapor Trails.
Yeah.
But I don't remember from the book. I don't remember any of these lines, so I don't know when. So when reading the book, I think, okay, he got a lot of all of the ideas for the songs. A lot of the things that he wrote on the road ended up as the songs. I don't think he was writing them as songs at the time. he was also working on the book when they were working on when Alex and Getty were working on the music. He was working on the book some. So I think as he's writing lyrics, he's going back through his notes from the road, finding good lines. But I don't remember
because
any of
he
these
was
lines
reading
from it.
he was reading a lot of like classical novels, like
Yeah.
classic.
So
Yeah.
when did he write this? Did he write this while he was on the road, or was more of this written? Because if it was afterwards, this came out in 2002. So I know like Peaceable Kingdom was influenced by the terrorist attack in New York.
I think he
What
wrote
was
this.
this?
He wrote this. I mean, he wrote it after he was on the road, but he got the ideas from things that he wrote while he was on the road. That's my thinking.
Because when
And I
see
could
it
be
quote,
wrong.
the verses to me just kind of sound like
He's
like
just
his
throwing us great
displeasure with
quotes.
human nature.
It's almost it's a mix. Yeah, it's a mixture of displeasure, anger, disappointment, the
Yeah.
vacant smile of true insanity, dressed up in the mask of tragedy, programmed for the guts and glands of idle minds and idle hands.
My favorite line, by the way.
Is it really?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Because
figure it would be.
Machine gun images pass. What does that remind you of? What does that remind you two of? Pointing to the wrong side. What does that remind you two of?
War? Was it?
I was thinking like just either news or
it's
scrolling
like
through your phone. I mean, TikTok wasn't out then, but just
right, just a
images
bunch of
that pass real fast,
we're
like in
overwhelmed
advertisements
by
in the news.
all this. Yeah,
yeah, and then like Malice
okay.
through a looking glass. I'm guessing the looking glass is either the computer screen or the TV from the news, all the crap on the news, or just whatever dumb shows you're watching.
Well, pretty much at this time, it's got to be more about the news because about that, because it's not really there wasn't really the internet, phone, the whole instant thing
and
at the time.
I'm thinking maybe it's past that. There was that grace period after September 11, 2001, when for several months everybody was nice, and then at some point the politics came back out, and then the blaming started, and the Democrats and Republicans started it up again, and all that. So that's kind of what I think he wrote this one. It was maybe before that or maybe after that, but with all just the crap and the news, all the mental junk food that we get from TV. So I think it's kind of
everything's a soundbite. Nothing is, people don't actually think about what they're reading. They don't care about the source. It's all sorts of crap, and you kind of
So then my notes were so it was talking about the machine gun. I have a burp. Machine gun images pass like Malice through a looking glass, which is media, TV. Machine guns, because the exposure is so constant and it's really rapid fire when you're just these terrible stories one after another on the news. And the people that feed us this crap do it on purpose. I think I'm probably a skeptic, probably a little cynical, and they'll say it's for entertainment, or they'll say it's the news that we want to hear. But I think that Neil probably, and I know I did, think that the media was wrong, and that I think the media, when they still do it, I think when they were doing it then, they knew it, and I think they do it now. I think they're even worse now. When they put out this stuff, they know that it makes people dumber, and they know that it makes people more small-minded, and they know that it divides us more, but they do it anyway, probably because of, you could argue whether it's just for profits, for ad revenue or advertising revenue, or for the power. But I think they do it on purpose, knowing that it's mental junk food and that it's bad for the individuals and it's bad for the society as a whole.
Well, and there's also the whole thing is like wanting to be the first to report something. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. They just want to be the first. We'll worry about whether it's true later. But I want to
get the clicks.
Yeah.
I guess
TMZ.
in 2002 it would have been get the views, get the ratings.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So I do have a question here. So there's a verse in here that I don't really understand. So I'm hoping maybe Shane
Tim
or
will tell
Tim
us.
can help us. It's after this verse. It says, I rest my case, or at least my vanity dressed up in the mask of comedy, if laughter is a straw for a drowning man. What does that mean?
Well,
I don't really know what that means.
Well, a straw,
I th-
so you could put the
You
straw
suck-
out and suck air in, but that's a little amount of air
Right,
for a drowning person.
right.
So that's
Yeah, 'cause-
So
And-
so laughter, it's just a temporary.
right.
It's not going to solve your problem. It's just going to help you deal with it for the time being. Is that what you're saying?
Or I mean, I guess I don't know. Maybe he's saying I sort of think it's like, okay, so you're really angry. I mean, it's obvious there's some some messed up stuff he's talking about here.
Sure.
Okay, you could laugh it off. Okay.
Yeah.
And but is that really helping you cope with that? It has laughing it off become a drowning man trying to get air through a straw. You know what I mean? Which, yes, will keep you
Yeah.
alive and you won't drown. But then
But
again, learn how to
It's not going to
swim.
do anything else for you. It's just
it's just just the most basic level, the bare minimum necessary just to
Right.
survive, just that little bit of oxygen.
it's like
That's funny
putting
because
yeah. It's
What
like
about
putting
the
it's like putting a band-aid on a
Flesh wound.
mushroom.
It's-
That's exactly that is
it's just like
exactly
putting
what
a
it is.
Band-Aid on a mushroom.
I
when
didn't
first
say
heard it-
mushroom.
You didn't say mushroom?
I said flesh wound.
Oh,
Flesh
flesh
wound.
room. Okay. All right. I already have an idea for the shirts. It's like putting a band-aid on a mushroom.
Yeah, very first time I heard it, I was thinking of like grasping at straws. But then I did get the image of, when the person hides in the water and they lay down and they get the little
Right.
straw.
The old
and they
cartoons
breathe.
that we used to see.
I
That
was
they
thinking,
would do that.
How do you
Damn.
breathe with just that little bit? You don't breathe through your nose at all, and just that little bit of air coming in and out of the straw. So that would be, just the minimum amount of
Right.
oxygen or whatever to survive.
Okay.
And so the slack jaw, I think you said that at the beginning, right? The slack jaw gaze of true profanity feels
Yeah.
more like surrender than defeat.
Yeah.
So when I slack jaw gaze, don't you just kind of picture just someone just with their mouth hanging open, maybe a little bit of drool because they're just gazing at like Jay's doing, just gazing at the TV or whatever while their mind's getting bombarded with
Yeah.
all this stuff, and they're just mindless gazing at it, getting fed this crap into their mind.
Oh my God. Why
And
does this
then-
remind me of Pink Floyd? Like The Wall.
Yeah, like when he's watching
Yeah.
the TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it feels more like surrender than defeat. It's not that they beat you. You're letting them beat you. You're just sitting there and letting them feed you this stuff.
Right.
When I don't know, I mean, I don't watch stuff like that. Does it make people feel good? Do they think it makes them smarter? I don't. What is the draw there? I don't get it. So that's probably
don't
something
know.
I can't talk about because I don't understand that.
That's why I drink.
But it's funny. I had notes for every line except the one you ask about. I
Really?
don't understand that. I rest my case, or at least my vanity, dressed up in the mask of comedy.
Yeah.
That's the only line I,
think-
didn't have any notes for.
Well, Tim, I think you kind of helped a little bit with that because it kind
Yes.
of
Well done.
makes a
Tim.
little bit more sense.
Look at that, Tim, with the deep analysis and the
Yeah.
science.
Yeah. And the dragon with the nice little
Hi.
coconut
Yeah,
shell drink there.
I'm glad I've influenced you in such
Yeah.
a positive way, Tim.
Yes. So my favorite line comes at the end. And where he changes it a little bit, because most of it is winding like an ancient river, the time is now again. Okay. But at the very end, hope is like an endless river. The time is now again, meaning there's always hope. If you've got an endless river, you've got an endless amount of hope.
And the time to take action is
Is
now.
now again.
And then the
right.
time is now again.
Again, right.
The time is now again.
You keep
Okay.
getting another chance, and you keep not taking the chance.
Right.
Now, does he
Right.
believe in hope, or does he believe in faith?
No.
I think he believes
Stop
in...
it. Don't. We're not talking about that album, even though I want to.
I want to talk about because I don't understand that. I'm going to count on you from that, Tim. I think that's a religious thing, right? The difference between hope and faith. But yeah, we'll get there. We'll get to that album eventually. Like, yeah, maybe you can help us out. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm going to have to research some. Is it all semantics? What's the deal? I don't know.
Now,
So,
musically.
yes.
Oh, but it did have.
Oh, here we go.
Where was it? Because I thought it was the vacant smile of true insanity dressed up in the mask of tragedy. For some reason, I can't remember why, but I had that as really harsh. I guess the music, make tragic heroes out of sociopaths. And I'm not mentioning any names, but most of them are national politicians or pundits. So they'll take these sociopaths and they make them heroes. And they it's like when one side attacks the other for something that was wrong, they do something stupid and the other side attacks them for it. Then that's the side that they're on makes them look like a hero. There's this persecuted, they're a martyr because the other side's picking on them. Well, they're picking on them because they did it wrong. They did something stupid.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, it doesn't matter which side. That's the thing. They want you to be divided, but it's both sides. It's not.
Your side does something stupid or wrong, and the other side calls you out for it. Then you manipulate it into making your side, the person that did something wrong. You make them look like a victim because the other side's attacking them.
Yeah.
And then we make the victims into heroes. Which gets in my favorite line, programmed for the guts and glands of idle minds and idle hands. Because it's not programmed for your mind. It's programmed for your guts and your glands, meaning just your base reactions, your glands, your emotional reactions, just, whatever the sugar in your system makes you do.
The appeal to the lowest common denominator when it comes to...
It's not your thinking brain that's reacting these ways. It's your more base reptilian or mammalian instincts.
Your animal instincts, your
guts and glands, which we'll also talk about in Freeze in a few weeks.
Ooh, I'm afraid of that.
Mama, we're all crazy.
You're
now.
my mama mammalian.
Mama, come a comedian.
My mama told me you better shop around.
And here are my notes for I rest my case, or at least my sanity dressed up in the mask of comedy. My notes were, what?
Because I was going to ask you,
I typed out.
I'm like, what?
Yeah. What?
Tim, do you? What do you? I don't know what
that sounded like a million words in 3 seconds. What was it again?
I think what Tim said makes sense though.
You know what? It kind of reminds me of Bruce Springsteen. Somebody asked him one time. He's like, he wrote the song "Born to Run," and he goes, how did you come up? And he's looking at words that rhymed and that sounded cool. He was like, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But, I'm reading this course, obviously, as he grows as a songwriter, he's just putting words together, which, oh my God, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I got to do something. You ready? Space guitar.
Space guitar. Showing up in the vapor trails of life.
Space guitar.
Vapor trails of life.
Space guitars, chapter 17. Verse 8.
So
to space I go, from space I came.
Green.
I was queuing up a part in the song that I like.
Oh, here we go. And
3, 2.
This is right after the line, laughter, straw for the drowning man. It's only on the original mix, and there's this loud guitar in it at 2:10 in the song, and it goes a little something like this.
Dude,
You hear all of a sudden the guitar's out there, and then I just love how that guitar is so loud and so distorted right there.
Yeah.
that's only in the original mix?
Yeah, it's a lot more subtle on
the remix. Yeah.
I mean, you can still hear it's that same da 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 da, but it's not so much in your face like it is right there.
Let me see
And
your
then
face.
That's
Well.
exactly. And Tim, you and I talked a couple of weeks ago about bass solos.
Yes.
Now
And
I
don't
almost
remember. I don't remember us mentioning this.
yeah, and I hear at 346,
Right.
I think it could be a bass lead over Alex.
Bring it.
Playing
the
rhythm.
rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then does that for a little bit, starting at 346, and then at 359, a point when the guitar solo steps in.
Bring it. Let's hear it.
Guitar.
Oh, that is definitely a bass solo. That's a little bit.
Okay, so then that's the original version. Now here on the remix, as I find my way to it, it has that same sort of pause. Let's say start sailing unlimited. It has that same pause, but then there's more of a guitar solo after it that's not on that remix. Here we go again.
Yeah.
Also, like that little snare fill there. I like that too. So yeah, another difference between the two mixes that is more noticeable, I guess, but I also love that's like a bass lead right there in the
Yeah.
in the song over
It's-
Alex. So that was cool.
And I like
I like the.
I know,
It's the.
but
cool.
I think before that, I like the very beginning of it when he does
Yes. Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yes. You get a bass player who can give you a good then dude,
Your band
you can just
gonna be
start
a
writing
success.
checks. Just
Now
start
I'm getting a little
writing
depressed.
checks.
I'm getting a little depressed because this
Aw.
makes me miss Rush. You know, this makes me miss Getty doing his thing and Neil and Alex. I mean, just damn it. Freaking cancer. Am I right?
Well, yes, you are. Never getting old too.
Well, right.
I
I mean,
Yeah. I guess.
chances look,
Chances are they
was
work
over. It was over when it was over. Neil's death, it absolutely put a absolute finality to the band.
Yeah. Well, I would still love to have heard
There could have been
album every once in a while, you know.
and they might have done some stuff like that,
Yeah.
but but they've always said all their songs were meant to be played live.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did the little studio production here and there,
Yeah.
but it was always meant to be played live. And now the big long tours, that was going to be right out of the question.
Yeah.
Maybe they
3-hour
go
shows.
maybe go do 16 cities.
Yeah.
Hit some in the north,
Like Dallas,
South, Central.
like Dallas 15 times in like one other city.
And then Fort
Well,
Worth.
no. It was supposed to be Dallas and then Fort Worth, and
Right.
then Denton.
Right. and then repeat.
Right. And then rinse and repeat. Yeah.
And then
Yes,
the
exactly.
Trinity High School auditorium.
Right.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Indeed, sir.
But
yeah.
something about this song, I think was this, I don't even remember. We've been talking so long about stuff. We talked about how many songs from this album they played live, or was that in the preview show?
That
It was in the preview show.
Okay, anyways.
sometime in the
I
past.
thought it was just one. I thought it was one.
It-
Did they
it-
play anything else?
They played Ceiling Unlimited at the beginning of the tour.
Really?
When they got to Dallas, they were no longer playing it.
Hmm.
Which because I really like the song. And I remember reading in a book,
Well done.
actually it was a
Timothy
magazine,
Unlimited.
Geddy Lee
Really
talking
good.
about
The book.
how at the beginning of that tour, when they were doing Ceiling Unlimited, at their very first show, which I want to say was, I'm going to get it wrong, it's somewhere northeast Jersey or somewhere, that the crowd, the crowd was brand new song. Okay. Brand new song. The crowd was clapping along during Ceiling Unlimited, especially when Neil starts the do parts. But and they, Geddy and Alex were sort of looking at each other like, wow, because that rarely happens on the new material,
Yeah.
but everybody was so, hey, you're gone that long, people get thirsty. So
It's true.
A lot of their songs, it took me several listens to get into. This was not one. This was first time listening.
this was
This is
and Jay, what you were talking about earlier, how man, it might have been this episode, I don't even remember now, how it starts off with one little victory, Ceiling Unlimited, and then it goes into Ghost Rider, and it's such a break. It's a break in the action until Ghost Rider builds up,
Right.
But because both of these songs, they hit you, it's a 1-2 punch right at the beginning, just slapping
Right.
you around,
Yeah.
saying,
And
who's
then,
your mama?
yeah. There's just no, you can't go from it's basically they're going from like 100 to 60 all of a
Right.
sudden, and it's
Yeah.
kind of like it's a kind of a shock at first, and you're like, all right, we're good. But yeah. No, yeah.
See, this
Counterparts does that for me too. When you get animate, stick it out, and then cut to the chase, and then all of a sudden you kind of go "Roar" down to Nobody's Hero. To me, that's
Really
kinda
love that song.
but
though.
that is a great song.
I
It
love
is, but
that
it's-
song.
I have to
Yeah.
play it first and then play the next three so that it's not that letdown, because it's not as much of a letdown from Cut to the Chase to Between Sun and Moon as it is to Nobody's Hero. I don't know why. Just have to do it.
If you
Anyway,
just
but
don't
we're
like
not
good
talking
music.
about counterparts.
No, we're not
Yeah,
talking about
it could be that.
counterparts.
My bad.
Ceiling Unlimited is a song I would have hoped that in the R40 tour they would have brought back. Well, so is Earthshine. I mean, they did it during the Vapor Trails tour, and they played it again during the 30th anniversary tour. But as far as I know, after that, Earthshine was done. The one song that, as far as I know, they never played on the Vapor Trails tour was How It Is. They played that on the R40 tour. I wish they would have replaced it with Ceiling Unlimited. But they had done it for some people during the tour, so they're the lucky ones.
Hey Tim, go back to you mentioned you were talking about your like a few of your favorite songs from this album.
Yes.
When we're doing the overview, what was Ceiling? I can't remember. Was Ceiling Unlimited one of them?
With Ceiling Unlimited was either number 2 or 3.
Okay, all right. I
Yes.
thought so. I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
That was like a couple
in
hours
the
That
order
was like
that I listed
weeks ago.
weeks ago. Yes.
it was.
It's 2 weeks ago. You can't remember what you said 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago, especially when 2
Uh,
weeks ago isn't going to
was-
be for a couple of months.
Right.
Say that 5 times.
I
Backwards.
couldn't even say it
Confused?
once.
You will be after the
On the-
next episode of
Oh.
Soap. Dun 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 dun.
Oh my God, that
Dun,
was a
dun, dun,
great. Oh my God, that was a
dun,
great
dun,
show.
dun, dun.
The great Billy Crystal in his
Yes.
early acting days. Oh,
Mm,
that was a great show.
it
Young
was.
William, little Willie Crystal.
Yeah.
Well, Rush fan, we've told you what we think, but we just don't. We only started this conversation. We need to know what you think about what Tim thinks about Ceiling Unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
Email us 2112 at Every Rush Song. Join us on the social medias at Every Rush Song on every social platform and comment on the videos. Get onto YouTube, comment so that the whole world can see what you think. Tim, take us home.
Thank you very kindly, Dripping Springs, Texas. Good night. No, I looked up small towns in Texas, and there's a Dripping Springs.
There is. They
Okay.
make a vodka there, I believe.
Really? I have one word.
Yeah.
Road trip. Let's do it.
There we go.